This letter is unarchived. None of the academic journals mention it. Not a single significant university quotes it. No footnotes in notable biographies. It is not mentioned in Carl Gustav Jung's comprehensive collected works. This manuscript is shrouded in eerie quiet, especially among Jung scholars who have made their careers on it. The few who have heard of it discuss it in whispers, away from the scientific community, because its content is hard for the empirical intellect to understand. Something irrational. Something that forces a truth many are unprepared to face. Carl Gustav Jung, the inventor of analytical psychology, archetypes, and the collective unconscious, was a scientist and careful analyst. Clinically, his heart stopped. A major heart attack struck him in spring 1944. This is evident in hospital records. Was unconscious for a while. Something more than unconsciousness or delirium transpired during those few minutes. Jung didn't faint. He departed. Something indescribable happened. He was different when he returned. Jung, who was very careful with his words and his work's public image, wrote about his experience, making this occurrence even more intriguing. In his published works, no, not in academic journals, he wrote a personal message to he, a Swiss mysticism and depth psychology colleague and student. The family of He stored the letter in a secured safe in a Basel archive for decades. The content reappeared decades later when A's grandson gave a documentary producer a copy. Quietly, anonymously, without institutional support. The message opens calmly but shockingly. I floated above the earth. Jung recalled looking down and seeing the planet as a symbolic sphere of soft light, blue like a dream, but indisputably the earth. Time disappeared, he wrote. Fear and pain did too. My ideas were clear, weightless. What I termed consciousness was simply a trace of reality. Jung proposes a lovely and disturbing idea, that our true self, our awareness, our waking mind, is a distorted reflection of something immeasurably deeper. He saw with an inner sight that transcended senses. Earth was far, he says. Reality, not just space. Like viewing a photo of a location you know well, but no longer lived in. A familiar house you can't enter. A person or item appeared. Jung calls it a being, yet it resists description. Though not human, it wasn't foreign. Not angelic but familiar. Its presence was not threatening, he wrote. I understood everything it said despite its silence. I felt the warmth of 1,000 thoughts at once. The creature transmitted truth without language. I realized that life is about soul maturation, not just personality growth. Death is a gateway, not the end. What lies beyond that gate is not empty. Jung's response is surprising. He doesn't enjoy what he sees. His romanticism is absent. Instead, he writes as if struck by a reality too big to carry. I didn't want to return. I begged to stay. The will wasn't mine. Someone returned him. He woke up feeling lost. I felt body weight again. The air, doctors' voices. I felt a deep spiritual pain because I saw something irreversible. Why did he not disclose it? Why was this experience locked in a letter instead of in one of his many books on dreams, symbols, or the psyche? Jung replies, the world would not have understood. I might have been fired, diagnosed, or shamed. The mystical charges would have buried my work. But I wasn't mad. I had witnessed something real, too real for a reason-based world. He almost destroyed the letter. The want to burn it was great. Some part of him resisted. Instead, he gave it to H and told him not to divulge it until the globe reached the threshold he had seen. Jung included a note to the letter, according to A's family. Read this only when reality tears. It will make sense then. Visions in the letter are extremely disturbing. He observes souls, not floating spirits, but memory and identity-filled presences. I never met them. Still, I knew them. I recognized my father. Another, a child I never had but felt like mine. I cannot explain. That time was non-linear. Language didn't limit thoughts. I remembered myself without biography. Who I wasn't, but I was. He describes the space between the worlds, a term he never utilized in his formal publications. He denies this area is metaphorical. This boundary between life and death is a transitional field. He calls it silent, brilliant, and aware. Knowledge came without questions there, like standing in sunlight and absorbing realities through the skin. Next came the future vision. Jung claims to have had a glimpse of the future, not in prophecy, but in essence. The line between worlds grows thin, he wrote. People will see and feel more. It will be risky. Freedom and turmoil are there. It may overwhelm the unprepared mind. Several will wake, others will snap. Jung knew the psychic borders between inner and outward reality would crumble. Mystics, dreamers, and the psychologically attuned would reveal their inner vision often. That humanity's perception would change. But such awakenings are dangerous. To see too much too quickly is madness, he says. To carry full light without preparation is to burn. He then says, "You will not be asked who you were when you arrive." One of the letter's most significant sentences. How you became uniquely you. Status, accomplishment, and renown are irrelevant. The focus is transformation. About how much of your original self you woke up on Earth. That's true measure. The curriculum of the secret life school. He relates a solitary vision delivered in response to a query he was allowed to ask toward the end. What is truth? He asked with clarity. Pictured, a tree was the answer. Its roots were in darkness, its trunk scarred, and its crown eternally lit. Truth, he realized, is not knowledge. This is growth. It transforms. It leads from suffering to understanding. It combines shade and light. The metaphor that truth's roots go into the deepest night and its crown touches fire suggests that truth is formed from anguish but leads to enlightenment. Not security, but spiritual progress. Ever wondered who you are underneath it all? Not your name, job, or daily roles. What's left of you after the outside fades? What's left after the noise stops, the masks come off, and you're alone with your thoughts? Jung posed this question. He believed he found an answer. The true question is, are you ready to learn what he found? Jung was altered permanently by a powerful and personal encounter. He wrote, "I came back, but a part of me stayed there." Not any poetic language, he meant it. He sometimes felt a call at night. It wasn't dreamlike, feeling too real, like a wind-blown voice whispering outside his window, quiet but unmistakable. Jung then searched the ancient world for solutions. He investigated the Kabbalah, alchemical writings, and ancient Greek secret teachings. He wanted validation, not just curiosity. He thought what he saw or felt outside his body matched centuries-old traditions. Those archaic symbols and stories seemed like maps of something real, something beyond existence. This is even more intriguing. Jung kept some things private. He alluded to another experience, different presence. He mentioned it briefly and carefully. Not everything in the afterlife is light, he added. Some people are there to test you, not welcome you. You must face yourself before passing through, unless you've entered your inner door. He never said demon or evil. Jung chose his language deliberately, but he said something crucial. I'm not a teacher. I'm a messenger on the edge. His voice was calm. It seemed like a gentle breath, not a warning. You've already heard it, he wrote. It's clear and gentle, like breathing. You'll be guided if you don't retreat. Do not fear. The topic has shifted from Jung, about us. It's about those moments when something rattles your world, a loss, an illness, a bizarre dream that won't go away, or the chilling feeling that someone is there even though you're alone. Those moments aren't random. Jung thought those were invitations, quiet spaces, the start of a deeper trip. Whether you believe in an afterlife is irrelevant, not the real question. When anything knocks on your soul's door, will you answer? Jung left one more note, a little worn-out slip of paper, short lines. They seemed more important than everything else he wrote. Knowledge is not truth. A meeting is truth. When all roles disappear and there's no hiding, just you, real you. Now, as a person, are you ready for that kind of meeting? Jung never mentioned the experience again after writing that letter. He resumed writing, aiding, and advising patients. He realized the most significant portion of his narrative wasn't in a book. Not on paper, writing took place at the border between worlds. His writing doesn't sound like a researcher's or even his own. Feels like he wrote them for you. He seemed to know you'd locate them. When you do, a modest but serious question arises. Suppose it's true. What if a thin, translucent layer separates life from death? Behind it is something so bright and real that you hesitate to look. Jung saw it. He never sought to persuade. He never said more than find yourself. The road isn't written in experience. 80 years have passed. Has anything really changed? Do we fear death less? Do we know ourselves better? Or have we gotten even more lost, immersed in our phones, distracted, and moving faster without direction? There will be a time when the veil is lifted, cautioned Jung. The unprepared will suffer, because freedom-giving truth burns first. He wrote, once someone has seen their own soul, they can no longer lie to themselves. You might remain silent. You may hide. Something deep inside has awakened, like a distant bell. Once it starts, you can't stop listening. No further comment. The letter ends. You still feel something, right? As if this is the beginning, not the end. Real discovery isn't external. From within, Jung simply opened a door. The rest is up to you. If reading this far aroused something inside you or made your pulse beat quicker, you've taken your first step. It doesn't matter your age, no matter how spiritual, cynical, or interested you are. People who search have already been called. This quest isn't about escaping death, going beyond it, actually meeting yourself. Wait a moment. Close eyes. Fear not. Ask yourself honestly, am I living as I would if I knew my soul is eternal? Perhaps someone from the other side is watching you read this, quietly, waiting. If this message moved you, share it, voice your opinion, comment, leave a sign to let others know they're not alone. Click like if you want to keep exploring, not only a gesture but to indicate you heard, that you hear, your readiness. Until next time, may your light never fade.